Welcome back, friends. Right now it is mid-December 2020. Here in Michigan, we're about to get some snow next week, so I'm getting prepared with the Cub Cadet Snow Blower right here. This is the 2X 30-inch EFI with Intellipower. I'm into my second season using this right now, and what I'm going to do for this season that's different from last season, I'm going to install the universal snow cab. So if you've ever run a snow blower, it just seems like whichever way you blow the snow, there's always some like swirling wind that will bring the snow and possibly get you back in the face. So it's nice to have something like this right here, a nice cab. So I'm going to open it up, and it looks like it's really easy to install. I'm going to walk you through that, and then right after that in this video, I'm going to show you some of the tips and tricks I learned using the snowblower right here, and things that I'm going to pass along to you to make your snow season more successful if you have a snowblower like this, or if you're considering purchasing something like this. I will have some video links down below where I show a complete overview from last winter, and also a link that you can check this out on the Cub Cadet website. So let's get started with the snow cab. And just so you know, the model number here, 490-241-0032. This is available right off the Cub Cadet website. So as I mentioned, this is universal. It'll fit all these different machines right here, all those different brands. So in the instructions right here, the first thing I just want to check out the warranty, that is 30 days from the date of purchase. All right, so we're going to go ahead and just start assembling it. Looks like we just need 3 wrenches, put A into B. So now we're transitioning to the garage because we ran out of daylight. So I spent the last 15 minutes here getting the rest of the snow cab assembled. Let me show you a closer look at what I did. So on the snowblower itself, there's a bracket that I installed right there and one on this side right here. And then I installed these brackets on the snow cab, and that has a tube that connects each other. So if you want to just remove it, you can do that right there. So it's really easy to just take it off if you have really nice weather. So now you can take a closer look at these brackets right here. So I plan on leaving these installed all the time. So even in the summertime when I'm storing it, I'll just leave that like that. So I want to show you on the snow cab itself, these are the 2 items right here that connect it to the snow blower. So you have a couple screws right here that you can tighten down with the Allen wrench. So if you want to have this right up tight against the snow blower, you can do that. Or if you want to shim it out, you can do that as well. Let me show you. So right there, it's seated all the way down, and you won't get any snow or any exhaust coming up through here. And there's a little zipper right here if you want to open that up. In case you need to reach down to grab the key and shut it off, you can do that. But I usually just leave that shut and walk around to turn it on and off. So if you're wondering about the headroom of the cab, I was going to point out that I'm 6'3". I have my bright light here pointing in here. So I have maybe about 1 inch or so to spare. If I want to raise the cab up and tighten it down on those bars, I can do that. But I would say that the lowest position right here works really well for me. So then inside here on the left, there is a little pocket which would come in handy. Let's say you're out plowing, you find something on the ground, you can just stick it right there, or maybe just some other personal item you could keep in there too. What would you guys keep in there? Let me know. So when it comes to the construction of this, there's steel tubing that goes all the way on the sides, up and around right here and there. And then the item that's flexible and fiberglass, that starts right here, goes all the way around here, and ends back right there. So overall, it's really lightweight, so if you need to take it off, it's easy to do. So a few tips I can mention on the snowblower itself is to top off the fuel. So I definitely recommend getting ethanol-free fuel. It's called rec gas. So for me, it's 2 towns over. So when I'm going out that direction, I check to see if my gas cans are empty. If they are, I always fill it when I'm making that trip. So then I recommend getting some fuel stabilizer. So this is Stabil. It'll stabilize your fuel. Do you know who said it that way? If you do, put a comment down below. So even though you're getting ethanol-free fuel, this right here will just help it store. So I think it's good for like up to 2 years. There's also some other good products out there too, but this is what I have on hand, and this works well. So it's just a good idea to keep your fuel topped off, and then I recommend checking your oil and making sure that's ready to go. And then it's a good idea to check with your owner's manual and see if there's any scheduled items that you should do. So depending on what you did in the springtime, maybe you did some other preventive maintenance at that point, so you don't need to do it in the fall. Either way, it's a good idea to make sure that everything's ready, so when we get the first snow, it'll start up for you. And then if you have this type of model snowblower, there is a battery on here that you have to charge. So I recommend charging it overnight, so it's good to go. And then it's a good idea to just take a look over everything, including the skid shoes. Make sure they're adjusted to the proper height. So if you have a gravel driveway, you want to make sure that it's raised up a little bit so you're not throwing stones when you're going out there. And then if you have a hard, smooth surface driveway like asphalt, then you're going to want to adjust the skid shoes so you can clean right to the ground. So now that the snowblower itself is all set, let's go outside and I'm going to show you a couple do's and don'ts for getting your driveway ready. Okay, so this is my scene from last year. My driveway was in really rough condition right around December, and I decided to add some stone to it. So I hired a company to come out and put 10 yards of crushed limestone down. There's a truck right there. So I achieved my goals of filling in the potholes and building up the driveway, but the only problem is I should have done this about 4 or 5 months sooner. That way the stone would have a chance to pack in, because all this loose stone, even with the skid shoes adjusting the snowblower all the way up, it would still throw some stones once in a while. So before it gets cold and the ground freezes, I recommend getting some driveway stakes put in. So I have a couple of 6-footers right here. These are going to go in the ditch over there. There's a culvert with some big rocks in there. So I've had some people get stuck there and it's not fun trying to help them shovel them out or pull them out. So we're going to put these in there, and this is a great way to prevent stuff like that from happening. Right here we have a little bit of a curve going on, and sometimes when we have 6 inches of snow, it's hard to tell exactly where the edge is. I can usually guess pretty close, but to make things easy for me in the winter, especially in the dark, I'm going to have 3 stakes along this curve just to help me see it. Then one more up close here. All right, that's good. Yeah. Sometimes this can be a little tricky, so I'm going to have a stake here. I'll put another one a little further back, and I think we're going to be all set. All right, check it out, guys. We finally have some snow. It's January 26th, 2021, and we're going to go over to my patio table outside here and see how much snow we have. And then we're going to get the snowblower out with the snow cab on it and get this driveway right here cleared out. All right, let's check it out. We have about 3 1/4 inches. So now I just brought my snowblower out from the garage, and I'm going to start for the first time today. Let's see if it starts on the first pull, and then you might hear a lot of wind blowing. The snow cab right now, with this type of weather, this is going to be a good test to see how it holds up. So right now the wind's blowing into the back of the snow cab. Then when I turn around, it's going to be nice having that shielding my face. So let's get started. So right here is a prime example of why you'd want a snow cab. Look at how the snow just vaporizes when it gets up in the air. So I could tilt it down a little bit, but you can just see that snow cab is invaluable. Another thing I learned using a snowblower, right now you can see I'm sending the snow up high and far away, but as I'm approaching closer to this vehicle right here, I'm sending the snow off to the side and then aiming the snow down low, because you never know if you're going to pick up a stone off a gravel driveway and sling it. It can easily go 20 plus feet. So one of the final views I want to show you, this is from inside the cab, running it at night. The cab definitely gives you some protection from the elements, and I highly recommend it. So here's a look at my driveway the next morning. It's nice getting those 3+ inches of snow cleared out, because you never know when we're going to get some more. For instance, here's 2014. I'm standing actually in the road looking at the end of my driveway. We didn't get mail for an entire week. So you never know what kind of snow we're going to get, but at least I'll be ready for it. So I was looking at some ways to store this in my garage without it taking up so much space. So I took it off, turned it around, and when you lay it this way, it actually keeps all the dust off the snowblower, which seems to work pretty well. And then all of a sudden, let's say you get a bunch of snow, right there, you're off and running. So I hope this video has been helpful for you learning some tips and tricks using a snowblower. If there's something that I didn't do that you'd like to share, please put that down below, because we can all definitely learn from each other. So if you want to find some more information about any of these products right here, I'll have some links down below where you can check them out. And if you find this video to be interesting, helpful, and informative, please give it a thumbs up and help support my channel. That's it, friends. Thanks for watching. See you next time.